Imagine a world where the forest is your supermarket, where the ocean is your pharmacy, and where every face you've ever known is family. Now imagine one road cutting through the heart of that world. Along it come strangers, cameras, diseases, and promises that feel more like threats. This isn't a story from centuries ago. This is happening right now to one of the last untouched tribes on Earth, the Jarawa of the Andaman Islands. The Jarawa are not just an isolated tribe. They are living proof of humanity's first great journey out of Africa several thousand years ago. Their ancestors followed the southern coast of Asia, and while civilizations rose and fell, they stayed on these islands in the Bay of Bengal. They are short in stature, dark-skinned, with tightly curled hair, the physical hallmarks of the Negrito peoples. But their true uniqueness lies deeper, in their DNA. Mitochondrial haplogroups that trace back to the dawn of modern humans. Why DNA markers so rare they're found only in the most isolated pockets of the world? Tibetan highlands, the Ainu of Japan, and here. They have been here at least 24,000 years. Some say maybe twice that long. The world calls them Jarawa, a name given by a now-vanished tribe. It means stranger, or worse, hostile one. They call themselves Ang, human beings. Their language is a jewel found nowhere else, part of the Ongan family spoken only in the southern Andamans. Complex, rich, with sounds outsiders can barely imitate. There is no alphabet. Every word, every story lives in memory and in voice. But the Jarawa are not alone in these emerald waters. Scattered across the Andaman and Nicobar Islands are other ancient tribes, each with their own guarded worlds. The most infamous of them all, the Sentinelese. An enigma shrouded in salt and silence, they live on North Sentinel Island, a place where outsiders are greeted not with words, but with arrows. They have rejected the modern world for thousands of years, their language, customs, and faces known only to themselves. In 2004, after the Indian Ocean tsunami, a Sentinelese man stood alone on the beach and aimed his bow at a rescue helicopter. That single moment became a symbol of defiance, of survival, of the last untamed edge of humanity. Then there are the Onge, living further south. Gentle in nature, their population now reduced to a fraction of what it once was. The great Andamanese, once spread across these islands in dozens of tribes, now barely number in the double digits, their songs and stories slipping away like footprints in the tide. The Jarawa share this archipelago with them all. Different languages, different customs, yet bound by the same truth. The modern world is both their greatest danger and the storm they have fought for centuries to keep at bay. And among them, the Jarawa stand as one of the few who still roam free. Still Ang, still people. The Jarawa live in bands of about 40 to 50 people. They move with the seasons, setting up camp near a river when fish are plenty, near fruiting trees when the forest calls. Men stalk wild boar and monitor lizards through the dense undergrowth, bows drawn, arrows tipped with carved iron or hardened wood. Women wade into the shallows with nets, scoop crabs from mangrove roots, and gather shellfish from coral beds. Honey is a delicacy. The men chew leaves from a special plant, spitting the juice onto the hive to drive away bees without harm. Tubers, fruits, seeds, all gathered with knowledge passed down for generations. Nothing is wasted, nothing is over-harvested. The forest is not a resource, it is a relative. No chiefs, no rulers, no prisons. Decisions are made together. Disputes are settled through discussion. Poachers followed. And then came something darker, human safaris. Tourists in jeeps, cameras ready, hoping to spot a Jarawa on the roadside. Some threw biscuits or bananas. Some took photos without consent. Others coerced dances, or worse. The Supreme Court of India ordered the road closed in 2002. Yet, it remains open. Every vehicle on that road carries risk. A cough, a handshake, a shared cigarette can bring an epidemic. In 1999, measles swept through, 108 infected. They feared extinction. In 2006, it came again. Mumps, pneumonia, malaria, even COVID-19 now poses a severe genetic risk. And yet, against all odds, their population has grown from 266 in 2001 to nearly 450 today, thanks largely to careful medical outreach. But this is a fragile recovery, dependent on outsiders' restraint that has been rare. Beyond the cameras, there is abuse. Poachers lure Jarawa women with alcohol or marijuana, substances alien to their culture, and exploit them. Some children have been born of these assaults. Jarawa voices speak for themselves. The outsiders are bad men. They abuse us. I prefer to stay in the jungle. They have protested, lodged complaints, even spoken to journalists. They are not passive, but the power imbalance is enormous. Some politicians speak of mainstreaming the Jarawa, sending their children to boarding schools, pulling them into wage labor, erasing their language and traditions in the name of development. Others, human rights advocates, anthropologists, the Jarawa themselves, say, let them decide. Let them keep their forest, their sea, their way of life, unless they choose otherwise. The fate of the great Andamanese shows the danger. Once thriving, they were integrated into dependency. Their culture shattered. Today, only a few dozen remain. This is not just about one tribe. It is about whether the oldest surviving chapter of our human story will be torn out or allowed to keep being written. It is about respecting a people's right to exist without being turned into a spectacle, a curiosity, or a project. The Jarawa do not need saving. They need the world to step back. They need the road closed. They need laws enforced. And they need the choice, their choice, to decide their own future. For thousands of years, the Jarawa have walked these paths, fished these waters, sung their stories to the beat of the rain. Every day, those paths grow narrower. And when they're gone, we will have lost more than a people. We will have lost a mirror, showing us another way to live, one we may never find again.
Kita buat tahu lah. Tapi dah nak